It's a well-known fact that many celebrities and dignitaries visited Coulterville, and specifically the Hotel Jeffery. People like President Theodore Roosevelt, Mark Twain, John D. Rockefeller, John Muir, Carrie Nation, and even the last king of Hawaii. But along with the famous came the not-so-famous, the outlaws, Frank James, Black Bart, and Joaquin Murrieta. In fact, Joaquin Murrieta and his sidekick, Three-Fingered Jack, had a cave hideout not too far from downtown Main Street in Coulterville. In fact, Coulterville, California was a pretty wild, woolly place. Gunfights occurred on a daily basis. In fact, one story goes that a man named Allen had a gunfight in the street who was killed. But one of the bullets ricocheted and hit a dance girl standing on the side of the street. Her name was Penelope. And we're going to go see if Penelope will talk to us. We're here at another stop thrift shop in Coulterville, California, and it's an interesting place, and I want to introduce you to the owner, Scott Frain. And Scott, I want you to tell me a little bit about your store and the building and what you know of the history.
The building was constructed in the 1850s. It burned down in the fire in 1879, burned down again in 1899, and was reconstructed by the Minnie Fraser. This was a boarding house.
Okay.
This used to all be a dirt floor. Everything inside the building was used for stables. There's metal doors out front. These doors were constructed in 1853, and these are the original doors to the boarding stable. These doors would be opened, they would bring the horses in, bed them down for the night, and give them new horses to continue on with the stagecoach up to Yosemite. In the back was a blacksmith shop.
Oh, wow.
The wall that we're looking at is the original wall that was constructed in the beginning of the 1850s when the Gazzola building was constructed next door. In the 1870s, the fire came through and took this building out from the top level. Both buildings were affected because the second level burnt on both buildings, but the original wall still stands, and that's what we're looking at now.
And I know that you've got a mixture of a lot of things from different time periods, the 20s, 30s, 40s, and you have a few things here, and I wanted you to tell me a little bit about what you've got here. This is interesting. Tell me about this.
That's an old jug that we found out back. It would have been used to put elixir in, or some type of cough syrup, something of that era.
Okay. You have any idea how old it is?
It's from the early, mid to early 1900s.
Okay.
Mid 1800s to early 1900s.
I have no idea what this is.
This is a tool that they would have used on a Model A or a Model T Ford. And it was actually the crank starter for the car.
Scott, let me ask you one question. How did Penelope get her name Penelope?
Actually, I was in this room and I was sorting through toys, a box of toys, and I heard somebody say Penelope. And I turned around, I was over there, in that back room, and I turned around like this to see who was at the door, and there was nobody there. And the front door was locked. So I knew nobody could have come in behind me, and I said, "Is there somebody there?" You know, and then when Elvie came, she was one of the previous merchants here. I asked her, I said, "Have you ever heard of anybody named Penelope?" And she goes, "No, that's the ghost." And I just kind of stepped back and went, "What?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, she knocks on the wall." And when the Women's Auxiliary ran it, they would come around this corner and they would see a woman over here on the side, but she would disappear. Now, I've never seen her. I've never gotten the chance. And Jenny, the only one that's seen her, has passed away. But she told many stories to the other girls at the VFW, you know, that I have seen this woman. She is dressed in period clothing. And there's a woman there. And she's a young woman, and everybody else is like, okay, Jenny, you know, medication's doing you good, hon. You know, because she had cancer and she was, you know, she was in transition. And so and I think that's why Penelope got so close to her, is because she knew that
she was ready to cross over.
She was ready to cross over, and she was there. Yeah. When the woman was buried in the 1800s, they didn't know who she was. She died in the hallway. And there was a gunfight in the middle of the street, which I'm assuming that the man was either her husband or her boyfriend that got shot. But she got shot in the crossfire and ran up into the Gazzola building and died on the stairs. She never made it to the top of the stairs. She died halfway in between. Mm-hmm. So
maybe the boyfriend was Henry. I don't know. Why would that name come
Getting
up?
goosebumps again.
Henry.
That could be his name.
He said Henry. Arbuck.
I'll have to look and
It
see.
seemed important.
Well,
I know
then
that,
they might not even have marked that grave.
What was his name? Alan Haig shot somebody in the middle of the street. That could have been who it was.
There's a lot of trauma behind it.
Penelope, could you say hello to me?
Do you live here?
What time is it?
That was pretty clear. What?
What?
What? Did you say what?
To gather the energy.
What's your name?
I understand that.
Where's the gold?
Where did you hide the gold?
Come on, Penelope. Help him out.
Is it in this room?
We got one knock there. Thank you, Penelope.
I think she's hanging back.
Maybe you should just go back, if they let you go back there and just sit at the table and have a session by yourself. My guide said, you take charge.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
She likes you.
Okay. Penelope, if you're here, can you just come and talk to us?
Oh, she thinks we're trying to trap her, maybe.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, we don't mean to trap you or anything, or think that we're gonna trick you or
Penelope.
anything like
You
that.
can stay here as long as you want.
No, we don't have you move on or anything, because I believe you're having your experience of wherever you need to be. It would be like if you came to my house and told me to move on, I would not appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing your own experience.
I'm getting goosebumps right now.
You're doing your own experience.
Feels
You're
like it's getting
helping.
colder in here.
It is.
You're helping with Coulterville.
When you were talking, I started feeling emotional and goosebumps.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was.
And I felt it cold
she was
right
liking
here.
What you were saying.
Well, you know, guys, it's
Is it?
62 right now. A second ago, it was 51.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt it right here. It
Mm-hmm.
was like she came around me. Like she walked over this
Yeah.
way. It was when you were talking to her.
Yeah,
And Michelle is a great channel for writing, and
51,
I know you
50.
you trust her and you love her. I think she
50.
kind of reminds you of somebody that you knew, and
We're getting some temperature fluctuations there that were.
oh, my body's
Yeah.
starting to
Yeah.
shake a little bit.
I feel like that you guys are like family, and she's like never leaving. She said
Oh,
she's never.
49.
I feel the
I'm
temperature
shaking.
dropping.
I know. Why am I shaking?
50.
Using your energy.
Is it still getting cold in here? Or?
Well,
It feels like it. Are you shaking?
Yeah. I don't know. She's using my energy.
50.
Let me turn this on.
I don't want to scare her. She's scared of
51.
it.
49.
Penelope, we're back again, and we've been talking amongst ourselves, and hopefully you've been overhearing what we've been talking about. But we kind of wanted to know a little more about you. We wanted to know, again, if the answer is yes, please knock once. If it's no, please knock twice. We wanted to know, do you have blonde hair? Were you about 5? Oh,
Yes,
thank
she
you.
did, and that was
you.
very dominant,
Thank you
very loud.
much. Okay, we thought you might have had blonde hair, but we weren't sure.
Did you pass on the stairways near here, near that wall that you knock on? Did it happen quickly that it was so unexpected for you? It was a shock?
Thank you, Penelope.
I'm getting you felt deprived of what you were intending with your dreams in that lifetime, and you felt like it was taken away from you. And I feel for you and that you're still fulfilling your dreams by helping Scott in this town.
Went out and checked the side of the building where the knocks are coming from. The wall is 16 inches thick and it's adobe. So we went out and she checked that side of the wall. There was nothing there that was banging against the wall. There was a slight breeze going. There were no open windows on the other side that would cause any kind of banging.
really cold.
And so we believe, because there's a history here of Penelope knocking on the wall, we believe that that is Penelope knocking. The psychics, Gonzalo and Michelle, have picked up that she is here.
And we're just validating that you're here. We're not trying to invoke you or anything like that. We're only trying to validate that you are here. So please, if you can, give us something.
The temperature drop last night, and also I've noticed a temperature drop. So we know you're here, Penelope. We really do. We know you're trying to gather as much energy as you can from the room, and I never feel goosebumps.
You feeling it too?
Feeling it now. Yeah.
But now that she understands who you guys are and she knows each and every one of you, I believe that she's come through and touched each and every one of you because I feel at peace with it.
Well, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we really
And,
appreciate it.
yeah,
You
she
know
knows
we do,
that you
so.
respect her,
Yeah.
And we'll
and
be
that's
back
why
to
she's
visit.
being so active. And she loved your voice.
Oh, cool.
I mean, definitely, that was a loud knock.
That was
Very, very happy
very,
with that
very
song.
nice. Nice thunderstorm.
Very- very-
Yeah, she likes it.
She did. She liked your voice.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Penelope. It was an honor to sing for you.
That was great. Thank you.
Scott has a lot of Indian jewelry, and there's even something here from Miwok. So if you're ever in Coulterville, folks, I suggest you stop by here. This is an interesting place.